Hey, everybody.
What's up, guys?
What up? We're going to make that come back.
Bringing that back. Wow, 1996 appreciates that.
I want more people to stick their tongue out and say, what up?
If FaceTime has any purpose in life, it's just to bring that back, right?
Yes. I mean, I don't even use FaceTime, and I barely even use Snapchat, but, why don't people just do that to each other? I send that to it.
I don't know. I don't know.
We both know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, welcome. Episode 3, Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones podcast. I'm your host, Doug Smith, and with me is my co-pilot,
Mr. Jones, Mr. Nathan Jones.
So it's been 2 weeks since we last talked. Today's August 25th. A lot of shit happens.
Uh-huh.
Movie, television world, it moves really quick. They don't wait for anything.
They don't wait for us. I don't know why.
Yeah. We tell them, hey, we'll be back next week. And they're like, no.
We page them.
Yeah.
Do they have pagers?
Another thing we need to bring back, beepers and pagers.
Palm Pilots, beepers, pagers, the telephone cars, or telephone cars. I mean, the
in-car telephones.
Yeah, the big ones.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I dropped it.
The ones that you had to have a man purse with just to carry? Yeah, I got you there. Okay.
So what do you want to do? Want to talk about
stuffing things?
Stuffing things?
Yeah, let's talk about stuffing things. You want to get into some movie news?
Sure.
Okay, movie news. One of the things that came out earlier in this week was a lot of miscommunication and conflicting stories, but they all really centered around DC, Jared Leto, and the Joker role.
I
did you hear any of this?
Slightly heard this. Side rant. I've had school all week, and I'm a teacher, everyone. But I also am a student, so I have to juggle all of that crap together. And it started this week, and it's been a nightmare. So bear with me if I am not completely caught up with everything. But yes, I do know about the Jared Leto thing.
Good, that's going on. I'm glad you can put your priorities ahead of educating, today's youth.
I despise today's youth. Put that down. Put that in writing. That way, I'll never get a job ever again.
You can quote me on that. Put that on Nathan's LinkedIn profile.
I haven't touched LinkedIn in 2 years.
Yeah, well, you already got a job. The only reason people go to LinkedIn is if they're looking for a job.
Sure.
Yeah. But around this, there was two things. One of the biggest one that caught my eye was that Martin Scorsese was rumored to be producing a standalone Joker origin film, and Jared Leto was not going to be cast in the role.
That would be very interesting because, one, I love Martin Scorsese, and that actually might be good. But then the second thing is, I really didn't like Jared Leto as the Joker. However, it would convolute the whole entire what they're setting up in that DC universe. Yeah.
Simultaneously, while this news broke, there was another news story that was equally credible. Same kind of sources came out and said Jared Leto is not being replaced. This origin movie that's being produced by Scorsese is not going to be part of the DC cinematic universe. So it's going to be its own standalone, kind of elsewhere.
Like Nolan's films and Dark Knight trilogy.
It's going to be its own universe, and it's going to be its own adaptation of his origin, because as long as the Joker has been around, his origin has never really been nailed down. I mean, there's been a few attempts over the years that people kind of do things. The Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Alan Moore's great graphic novel. And there's been a couple of rehashes throughout the comics in the years, but there's never really been, to this day, no one knows what his real name is.
I know what his name is, Doug.
What's his real name?
Pennywise. And that's what the next week, or the week after, I don't remember, I think it's September 8th, it is coming out. But no, I digress about the Joker. Another clown. But yeah, at least they're not.
Puns.
I don't want the Juggalo Jared Leto in this Martin Scorsese movie, and so that'd be interesting. That's really a weird move on DC to be like, hey, we're going to kickstart this universe, and then here we go with a standalone movie that has nothing to do with it.
The rumored director that I saw was going to be Todd Phillips, most notably known for directing The Hangover. Was going to be who is attached to direct this standalone Joker origin film that Scorsese was producing.
Okay, so he's producing it, so he's just throwing money at it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
He's making sure it gets on film.
Sure.
That means.
That's weird. Hangover, huh? The first two are fine, but the third one's Yeah, but like as a DC movie, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
To me, as interesting and as cool as this news broke, to me, it's just one of those things that's probably never going to happen. I don't know how many movies go into pre-production and or are rumored to happen that just kind of fall apart, whether they go through 10 different directors before they finally just put a fork in it. But that's kind of what this one screams, especially on top of the additional news that they said that Jared Leto will be coming back reprising his role as the Joker.
Didn't he himself have to come out and be like, hey everybody, I'm still the Joker?
Yeah, I still have a job. Yes, DC and Warner Brothers came out and confirmed that he will be back for Suicide Squad 2, as well as a Joker Harley Quinn standalone movie.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And supposedly this new standalone spin-off movie, Joker Harley Quinn, is going to be replacing the already announced Gotham City Sirens movie. It was previously supposed to be a spin-off focusing around Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman.
Well, this is all news to me, Doug, because I have not followed DC as much as you have.
Yeah. I try. I follow them on bated breath just because they let me down so damn much.
I see. I mean, I love DC Comics, and I love pretty much a lot of the crazy storylines that they've had over the years. But, geez, I've kind of lost all faith.
Yeah, cinematically, they haven't really done anything correct except for Wonder Woman. And even then, that's going to be a struggle in these combo movies where they throw her in modern settings, and Justice League looks like a fucking train wreck to me right now.
CGI train wreck. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see where this all goes. I guess that's a lot of movie. Like, do they have a lot of? They've slated a lot of. I remember the timeline when it initially came out.
They've slated all the way up until 2022, I believe, for future projects.
Huh? How many are there?
I think there's 8 still in the pipeline. But like I said, they keep adding. Each movie is going to depend on the success of this extended universe and whether or not they continue to go with it. If they have as much as Suicide Squad got panned, it still made a shit ton of money. I think $745 million.
Sure, because we're all curious. That's probably why.
$745 million. So
fucking won an Oscar.
Yeah, it got green. Oh fuck, I forgot about that. The audio Oscar. Yeah, but no, you make money, you're obviously going to get a sequel greenlit real quick, and then the spin-offs are always just going to be a natural progression of that.
I suppose. I mean,
so I'll be interested to see if they can do something correct with Jared Leto. Like, I absolutely hated the teeth and the tattoos and all that stuff, mainly just because there was no explanation to why the hell they had it. Like, it was such a jarring change from what we've always been established of a comic book or television, movie, film, anything like that prior. What the Joker looked like, it was such a change that I don't think anybody was really ready for it.
And it looked terrible. The aesthetics were just so like you said. It's no one said the reason why.
No, it was never explained. It was never even really alluded to, which I think confused the fuck out of everybody.
I think that whole entire movie was confused about its own self because, like, all the music suggests the rap. The rock that just interplays like every 5 fucking seconds.
Yeah, they weren't really sure what kind of movie they were trying to make, and you can tell it was just very disjointed and a lot of weird editing and story changes.
Yeah. So we'll see where this all goes. Yeah. Well, good luck, DC, everybody.
Yeah, cross your fingers, hold your breath, but don't hold out great expectations. Other news that was announced, an Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off movie is in active development now.
I'm so damn excited about this.
It's been rumored for years, but they've officially said, yes, we are working on pre-production of an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
So where's this going to be taking place?
That's the kicker, absolutely. In standard Disney / Lucasfilms, history, they're very tight-lipped on any kind of information they want to reveal.
You think it's going to be like some kind of Western? That's what I've kind of like gathered, that it's going to be right after, obviously, Episode 3, and Obi-Wan obviously ends up on Tatooine eventually, and I'm thinking, what I want to see, I guess, is in my head, is some kind of Western where it's like, obviously it's not a Western, but it's like space Western. obviously Star Wars is a Western. As much as you want to say it's not, it is. It's built on Westerns. Tough shit. If you don't think it is, it's a sci-fi movie. But anyway, I hope that it's, I guess, more in like the vein of like Hell or High Water, or even this new movie, which we'll talk about soon, Wind River. just kind of that new, like even Logan, like heck, just one of those kind of noir kind of westerns that would be really cool just to see like the character of Obi-Wan, because that's what everyone loves.
Yeah, one of the few positive things to come out of the prequel trilogy was Ewan McGregor's performance of Obi-Wan.
For sure.
Now, granted, depending on where they go with the timeline, I don't think they'll go young Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that's essentially kind of delving into Phantom Menace territory.
Sure.
Because he was a younger Padawan learner.
He still had the Padawan braid.
Yeah, still had that sweet rat tail.
Sweet rat tail.
Yeah. So you really don't, as much as it's tempting to go back and try to show his first, days as a Padawan learner and his first encounter with Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson, we really don't need to do that, because you're kind of treading on an old story that's already been somewhat revealed, so you're not really breaking any new ground by doing that. Positive thing is, if you obviously go after episode 3, there's that 20 some odd years between 3 and 7.
Totally turns into an old man. Mm-hmm. You mean Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. So, and the great thing is, since so much time has passed, Ewan McGregor's obviously, he's still not an old man, but he's aged more, so he could easily pick up that pace and fill in that older Obi-Wan Kenobi role.
Do you think he's going to pick it up? Do you think
he's expressed interest years ago that he said he's more than willing to come back, and in fact, he absolutely loved being in those movies.
For sure.
I've seen a lot of making of documentaries where they said they had to do a lot of extensive sound editing, because while he was filming all his lightsaber battles, he wouldn't stop making sound effects. So they had to overdub everything because he was too busy going.
Hey, stop that! We're gonna do it. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to fucking fix it later.
Yeah, and they said every time they would yell "cut" and they would say, "You're doing it again." He's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just getting carried away."
Jeez.
So he's obviously got love for the role. Fans would absolutely, without a doubt, love to see him come back, because, like I said, he's one of the only redeeming things
for sure
of the prequel trilogy. So fingers crossed. Hopefully that happens, and hopefully Ewan McGregor gets attached to it.
Yeah, this is definitely good news there.
Mm-hmm. Other movie news. Today's the 78th anniversary of the release of The Wizard of Oz.
You were old.
Yeah, fuck, you're old movie. Yeah,
we're gonna do that later.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sorry, I jumped the gun, everyone.
Come on, man. Hold your horses. But yeah, 78 years. Obviously, you've seen this. Every kid.
I've seen it. Have you done the Pink Floyd test?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly accurate.
Yes.
Props to whoever came out of an acid trip coma long enough to put 2 and 2 together.
Props to, if anyone doesn't know what this is, it's The Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, one of the most iconic albums of all time. Right as the lion roars, when you meet...
Like the first or the second roar?
It's the first or second, I don't remember what.
Google it, you'll find it.
Google it, you'll find it. But when you are playing Wizard of Oz and you finally hear the third character, the lion, that Dorothy's going to meet, and he roars, you start playing you play the music, and then for the rest of the film, the music actually
syncs up
really, really nice to it. Yeah.
In honor of today's... So, one of the things about The Wizard of Oz is there's a lot of urban legends surrounding it.
Oh, like the
hanging...
The midget hanging himself.
Yeah,
Munchkin, sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever. Midget.
So there's a lot of urban legends that have always surrounded it. I remember growing up and hearing the hanging person, and like, if you played something, one of those quintessentials, if you played this backwards, you hear a hidden message, or something like that. And I don't know why all those things really gravitated to this movie. I know it had a lot of production issues.
Sure.
Fun fact, it actually had 4 different directors.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the first director got fired 2 weeks into the movie.
Okay, did he have anything that made the final cut?
No.
Okay.
Well, he did, but whether or not... It's
all credited to one guy.
Yeah, everything gets credited to one guy. Whether or not, who got what part in the movie, that's kind of... All the people that know that information are long dead and gone. That secret's dead, locked up in the Warner Brothers vault somewhere.
Yay.
But the second and third directors, they filmed the movie for a little while, and they both got called away to help out with Gone with the Wind.
Oh, wow.
So they left production, went and started filming, Gone with the Wind.
Just like their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
See you later, sorry.
Yeah. Peace. And the fourth director showed up and finished the movie, and it was actually the third director that actually got credited for the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
The fourth one's just like, yeah, I'll finish it, but yeah, just give me money. You don't have to put my name on it.
Yeah. Speaking of money, another fun fact about The Wizard of Oz. Toto the dog was actually paid more than any of the Munchkin actors.
Wait a minute. The dog itself, I'm assuming the owner of the dog.
I'm not sure how the dog cashes those checks, but yeah.
Just in
the dog was paid
$125
a week, which in 1939 is a shit ton of money. It's a good pay.
More than the Munchkins, because
the Munchkins were paid $50 a week.
Do you think back then they weren't considered to be less than dogs? I suppose.
I don't know.
I'm gonna jump into that territory, but
yeah.
Jesus, like how do you pay a fucking dog more than a Munchkin?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Especially, it's 2.5 times more.
It's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's not a small jump. Granted, Toto has
small.
But yeah. Granted, Toto probably has a little. I don't know. Does Toto have more screen time? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dog's with it the whole time, right?
Yeah. And just random spots.
Mm-hmm. So, granted, Toto technically has more screen visibility, but the Munchkins had a whole song. They had, a dance. There was speaking parts. There was numerous ones. Yeah.
What did that dog have to learn?
Just
be there.
Yeah. Show up.
Stand, stay in
the
shot.
Carried Toto around a lot of the time, so it's not even like the dog had to hit a mark, so to speak.
Asshole. Hitting 120. I wish I could just show up and that's how I should be paid when I teach. I should just show up and just stare around and, then Munchkins come out of nowhere and I get paid more than them.
Surprise! Final fun fact of the movie. The actor that played the Scarecrow was actually cast as the Tin Man originally.
I think I knew this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was actually a Broadway song and dance type man, and he did not like when he got the script and saw the song and the dance routines that the Tin Man was obviously supposed to be very robotic and wooden.
Not fluid.
Not fluid,
like a dancer.
Exactly, and so he threw a big hissy fit and essentially got given the Scarecrow role so he could do his big song and dance and be a very wobbly, wacky, waving, inflatable tube dancing person at the time.
Before that existed.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing the Jitterbug in the movie, which was actually the most popular dance in 1939. So
good times, 1939.
Yeah.
Poland, especially.
Yeah. Way to stay up on those current events there, Wizard of Oz. Good job.
Yes, thank you for sharing all of your movie knowledge with the dogs and Toto and getting paid and showing us a good time with dancing.
Yeah.
But don't give credit to the Munchkins, though.
No. But, so you went to the movies recently, right?
I did go to the movies, and I've seen about three-ish new movies. There's some really good movies that have actually come out near the end of the summer, surprisingly. The first one I saw was Hitman's Bodyguard.
Okay, so, yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson.
And they literally just play themselves.
Yeah.
And it's so great. It reminds me of The Other Guys in the sense that it's just filled with one-liners.
A buddy comedy type of thing?
It's a buddy comedy with just... Ryan Reynolds, near the beginning of the movie, he's a bodyguard. And something happens. And pretty much he gets out of a job for a little bit. And then... his significant other pretty much connects him to his significant other works for Interpol and is transporting Sam Jackson, and pretty much something happens and then pretty much their worlds collide and Ryan Reynolds has to be the bodyguard of this hitman, and that's Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
And then they fucking hate each other. Samuel motherfucking Jackson and then Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool.
Yeah, essentially. Just being himself.
He's being himself.
Wise cracking smart ass.
And it's hilarious. And I definitely recommend anyone to watch that movie if you have an open heart and
open wallet.
Well, yeah, and an open wallet. Definitely watch it if you are a fan of dark comedies and just stupid one-liner movies and buddy cop movies. Yeah. So
good. What else did you see?
I saw Good Time last night. And that is definitely another movie, like I told you the first time we were talking, I was talking about It Comes at Night being really polarizing. This is also A24 movie. And A24 has some pretty polarizing movies for the most part because they're mostly on the indie spectrum. And so most people, if you're a general audience member, wouldn't like it. But Good Time has Robert Pattinson in it, and
from Twilight
and
Harry Potter,
sparkly vampire.
Yeah.
Trying to look up the other guy because I know him, but I don't really know.
He's that one guy, with the face and the nose.
The guy with the face. He has an interesting nose, but well, I'll get to that in a second. And Ben Safdie. There's Safdie brothers. Safdie. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but pretty much what happens with this movie is they're two brothers, and they're kind of low income, and not Robert Pattinson, but his brother is kind of like mentally not there. He's got some autistic issues probably.
So he's a little slow, or is he just not good in general population?
He's just slow,
okay,
pretty much. And then Robert Pattinson pretty much is like he's always getting him in trouble because they live in those low income situations. Mm-hmm. So pretty much they rob a bank really early on. They're wearing face masks, and then the cops kind of catch up to him. And they pretty much catch his brother.
Oh, the slow brother?
The slow brother.
Oh, that sucks.
And what happens is it's pretty much the rest of the movie. It has some funny parts, but also it's kind of a serious movie. But it also has Jennifer Jason Leigh in it.
Okay.
And if anyone knows who that is, great actress. Hateful Eight was like one of the last things she was really in, which she did a fantastic job in.
Yeah.
But she was in there, and she's in it for like a brief second, but it's pretty much just Robert Pattinson trying to get his brother back. And it's kind of sad. It's really weird. It's got a really interesting soundtrack. It's got a very 80s kind of synth mixed with like Depeche Mode.
Oh, that's my jam.
Like it's really weird, but like it's really cool. A lot like Stranger Things, how it had some of that synth that everyone really liked the soundtrack.
Awesome opening that everyone loves. Yeah,
exactly. And so it's a lot like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a really cool movie. But I would definitely recommend if you are hesitant towards those types of movies, you'd probably save some money. But other than that, I'd say it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm. What else did you see?
And finally, Wind River, which is the newest movie by Taylor Sheridan. If you don't know that name, he wrote Sicario and he wrote Hell or High Water. And those are two of my favorite movies of the last 2 years. And I mean, they're not directed by Taylor Sheridan, but they're written by him. Mm-hmm. And they were just two fantastic movies that have like awesome screenwriting and awesome just how it all plays out. And something I've noticed with him, and I'm not going to really get into the movie too much because I don't want to talk about it too much into the spoiler territory for sure. But it kind of hits you, and that's what the things about his movies that I really like is it's really grounded in reality. Mm-hmm. It's not
because you actually feel something.
It's not glorified.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this movie is it is Angel Olsen, not Angel Olsen. That's a singer, but I would not. I'm going to plug that. Angel Olsen's really great too, but no, it's Elizabeth Olsen, the youngest of the Olsen sisters, the one who's not fucked up.
Wouldn't be able to tell them apart. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. And then there's Jeremy Renner. So it's Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye, and this Western movie. I think it's a Native American. What are they called? You know what I'm talking about?
Indians?
No, reservations.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what Native Americans are.
I was like, you already had the PC term right.
Yeah, I'm not PC. The Indians.
Yeah.
They had a reservation, and there's been some murders. It's kind of like Fargo. Mm-hmm. There's a murder that happens up there, and they're pretty much trying to figure out who did it. It's like a whodunit movie, and it's gritty. It's a heartwarming. Well, no, it's a heart freezing because it's really cold there. Tale, but it's definitely worth a watch because it's really fucking good, mm-hmm. and it's his first movie he's directed, and so I would say definitely check this movie. I'd give him money because he is an amazing writer, mm-hmm. and I if you like westerns or kind of newer age kind of westerns, definitely go watch this movie.
The thing I recommended, especially that you said he wrote it and it's kind of its own thing, is we really need to support the independent filmmakers and the people that are writing original screenplays in general, because so much these days is everything is rehashed, repackaged. It's the same thing over and over again with a different label. And the more we go and support and give our money to these type of movies, the better we are going to be as a society, because we're going to have much more quality films to watch and enjoy, because these directors and writers are going to get more and more opportunities to actually show their strengths and their work to the world, because they're going to have more availability.
I couldn't have said it better myself, honestly, because most of the times, because I've been getting into movies a little bit more later on in my life. I mean, when you met me like 6 or 7 years ago or whatever, I liked movies, but I wasn't really into movies. And when I started going into independent films is where I really fell in love with movies. Yeah, is because not even independent films, but like the movies that most of the famous actors started off in are just.
Everyone's got to go, come from somewhere.
Exactly.
A lot of them, they might be famous for this one iconic role, but they've got so much, more broad work out there that people don't reckon. Like, to this day, everyone will be like, Robert Downey Jr., he's Iron Man, but he's done so many things over the years. And some of them are really good roles that he's nailed that people don't see just because it's not a major blockbuster motion picture.
I would say Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and... gosh dang it, now I can't think of the name. It came out in 2000. It's with Tobey Maguire, too. Mm-hmm. Wonder Boys. Yeah. Which is... hardly anyone I know knows about that movie. But it's so good. And, I mean, it's not really about Robert Downey Jr., but he plays a great role in it. Yeah. And so, yeah, there's all sorts of movies that I've just... based on actors or writers or, screenwriters or even directors that I've looked back and just looked at their, discography. Filmography, and then I've been blown away, and I definitely support that. I definitely watch more independent films.
Yeah. So you saw 3 movies last week?
I saw 3 movies last week.
Okay. So what did that run you on average?
Well, actually, the last 2 were free.
Oh, well, never mind.
Well, it's because I know people at the movie theater.
Schmooze.
Yeah, but normally it's about $10 to $12.
Okay. Have you heard about the new Movie Pass that announced last week?
Is AMC really mad about it?
Yep. Screw them. They're still contractually obligated to participate.
I heard about this. Actually, one of the questions, which we might get to later, was we'll just cover it now.
Yeah. Let's jump right in, because I will raise my hand and say I signed up last week.
You signed up for the Movie Pass?
Mm-hmm. So I remember when this program was first announced. It was 3 or 4 years ago. Sounded like a great idea, but at the time the price point was, I think, $30-something a month. Which even then, if you're like us and you go to the movies a lot, $30
is fine
for unlimited movies, one a day, is more than pays for itself. But the company Movie Pass had essentially bought and partnered with a marketing and data collection agency, and essentially they took it upon themselves to say, hey, what we're really after is we're looking for the general population's movie-going habits, so we can collect all this data and use it as marketing research, and we can better provide, better advertising and better, promotional campaigns to all these companies that we deal with, because we'll have much, beefier data that we can go off of. So what they did was they lowered the price point down to $10 a month, and the only caveat is you can only see one movie a day. It's $10 a month per person, so if you've got a spouse or something like that, they have to get their own.
It's an insane deal.
Mm-hmm. But it's $10 a month. You sign up, you pay one low $10 a month fee. They send you a debit card in the mail. I'm still waiting on mine. They said 7 to 10 days, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, they just announced it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's jumping on board on this.
Yep, and I read today that previously they had around, I think, 26,000 members, and their existing, membership clientele. And after they lowered the price point to $10, they had 155,000 people sign up just last week alone.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So their clientele really expanded so much that their website crashed, and it was down for a few days. I downloaded the app because that's one of the part of the package deal is you have to get the app, and you also have to kind of check in to validate that
that's you and using the app. That way they can get that market research.
Exactly. So they can Big Brother your ass and track it. But to me, $10, great steal.
That's a
hell of a deal.
Oh yeah, very good deal.
I think everyone should check it out. Jump on while it's good. You know, if for whatever reason they jack up the price, you can cancel at any time. It's not tied to your finances, so you're golden there.
And AMC can suck it because this is what happens. Unfortunately, they're getting mad about it.
Yeah, AMC was afraid that it's going to essentially dilute the film-going experience. They said, well, if people get so used to paying next to nothing for a movie, if MoviePass goes bankrupt or something next year, people are going to be like, well, I'm not paying $13.50 to go see a movie. I watched 10 movies last month with MoviePass and I only paid $10.
Yeah.
So that was AMC's biggest gripe, and I kind of get that.
But I get that too. But as someone who goes to the movies all the time.
The thing they don't really grasp, or maybe they just didn't want to admit to, is if the general population has a greater access to movie-going experience for a much cheaper rate, your chances of increased revenues for the thing you actually make money for in the movie theater, which is your concessions and things like that, are going to greatly increase because your foot traffic's up there. So they might have more spending money, because essentially they do. They're saving money on the price of their ticket. And they're more likely to buy a popcorn, a $5 slush, icy, or a $10 box of fucking Skittles.
It's a good $10 box. It's worth it.
Yeah. So if you haven't already, check it out. MoviePass.com. I highly suggest everyone jump on board and get in on that $10 thing while it lasts, because it may not be around forever. Hell,
I'll have to look into it now. So, speaking of money, I also spent some money this week.
Oh,
and last week.
What'd you get?
I went to Best Buy because they had some exclusive steelbooks there.
I love me some steelbooks.
And I got Alien Covenant.
So describe a steelbook for the non-collectors out there, because a lot of people were just like, what the fuck are
what's
you
a
saying?
steelbook? Yeah. Well, idiots. Yeah, I'm calling you out, everyone. A steelbook is pretty much just, it's a Blu-ray. It's the same size as a Blu-ray. However, it's literally just encased in steel, and it's got really neat artwork. And as weird as that sounds, it's really smooth. You can open it up.
Yeah. So the cool thing about the artwork is it's not a sticker. It's not a pre-printed piece of paper that slides in between a piece of plastic. It is truly etched onto the steel via laser print, and it looks very sleek.
It looks very sleek. I am actually in the process of potentially getting sleeves for them because I have them all on one shelf and I don't want them to rub off against each other because it's steel. And so then you open it up and it's got really exclusive artwork and it's really cool. I got the Alien Covenant and usually Best Buy and Target, and there's also I'm trying to think of what Scream Factory. They normally have exclusive steelbooks and they're really limited, and normally you can't get them too often because they go like that. Yeah,
they generally only make one printing and one run of them, and it's generally during the initial release of the film out to home video. So if you want one, you generally got to jump on it in that first week or two before they go bye-bye. Generally, it's the first couple of days.
Oh, it's definitely the first couple of days. Usually the first, the whole day.
Yeah, because most places will get an allocation. They'll have, their standard DVDs, their Blu-ray box sets, and then they'll get a small amount of the actual steelbooks and or whatever exclusive they're running that week.
And it's awesome. Usually it's a good movie. I got Covenant. It's not a great movie, but I love it.
I liked it. I was one of the few people that really enjoyed Prometheus, even though it had those hang-ups of not answering a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of expected that, especially when I saw Damon Lindelof was one of the co-writers, and he was one of the executive producers and co-writers of the show Lost.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew what I was getting into before.
He kind of just starts something really cool and then just I don't really know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, it's a choose-your-own-adventure style of writing, and I fucking hate it. But it's very captivating in that he definitely makes you go, oh, wow, I wonder if...
Yeah, it's very appealing, that's for sure. And then the second steelbook I got, which is much better, in my opinion, is The Guardian of the Galaxy 2.
Bang!
And that went pretty damn fucking quick.
Yeah.
There was about 30 people already there when I got there at Best Buy.
Very, very good movie. Made a lot of money, as it should have. It was a great movie. It's a really fun movie to watch.
Oh, yeah.
People of all ages will really enjoy that. There's something for everyone in that one.
It's a great movie, and also the steelbook is really cool because it's Baby Groot pushing the button that says "Do not push."
Oh, nice!
So it's really cool, and obviously I pushed it when I got it.
Yeah,
why not? And then but I got those at Best Buy, and I'm really happy with that. But those usually come out on Tuesday. That's when movies come out.
Movies and music. Tuesday.
And so normally I don't buy things new because I have a sweet shop that usually things come in and
you can get them at a slashed price.
I won't disclose the location or how I do these things, but
Back alley blowjobs.
Yeah. Whoa. Not here, Doug. We can't talk about that here.
Oh, it's all right. We'll cut it.
No, we won't. But yeah, I got some of those movies, and yeah, I'm really excited about that.
You feel like it's your birthday, essentially, right?
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday? Well, guess what? It is somebody's birthday today. You know what time it is? It's time for our favorite segment.
You're old.
At least it's my favorite segment, just because I like to fucking hit that button.
And spoilers.
Yeah. Spoilers! Yeah. But today, it is Sean Connery's 87th birthday.
He's still alive, I see.
Yeah. Buck futter.
I'll take famous titties for 300.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the classic 90s, early 2000 Will Ferrell, Daryl Hammond, Celebrity Jeopardy, Saturday Night Live skit, you really need to get on YouTube and watch those because they're fucking comedy gold.
Yes, any impersonation of Sean Connery is great, but the Will Ferrell ones on SNL were just spot on gold. Yeah.
Will Ferrell is playing Alex Trebek, and Daryl Hammond always plays Sean Connery. Just knocked it out of the park with this ridiculous. In no way, shape, or form does it really reflect Sean Connery as a person, other than the accent. But it is fucking hilarious.
Just think. Well, the best thing is it takes the legend of Sean Connery.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Chuck Norris jokes in that.
Exactly.
It almost surpassed his already great career. Just that it brought him to a different.
Plateau.
Yeah, plateau.
He's higher than everyone because Sean Connery. I mean, it's Chuck Norris. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, Sean Connery is his legend. He's legend. I'm surprised he's this old. He hasn't done a movie since League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yep. So his last role was 2003, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He retired after that. Unfortunately, he kind of went out on a bad one. Funny thing about that, the whole situation of why he took that movie. Was originally he was offered the role of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
And Peter Jackson.
That would have been weird.
He turned it down because he just didn't understand it. He said it was sci-fi, just wasn't his thing. He didn't really understand it. Also around the same time, he was offered the role of Morpheus from The Matrix.
Wow. Okay.
Again, he turned down the role. Absolutely didn't understand the concept of it, and he just said, I'm not your guy for this. Yeah. Which is really weird because that's who the Wachowskis wrote the role for.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. So after having those two strikes, and him seeing those franchises blow up, so to speak, he took the next sci-fi movie role script that he read and didn't understand, and just said, "Oh, I don't get it," but I didn't get the last two, and obviously I was wrong.
Sure.
So he took the role League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and unfortunately, it's a not great movie.
It's a great comic.
Yeah, it's great.
It's Alan Moore again, which we talked about.
It's got great source material, but unfortunately, the movie itself,
execution was sloppy.
Yeah, it's just not a good watch.
It's fun sometimes, parts of it.
Yeah. Small parts of
the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really young when that happened. I was 11 when that came out. So I liked it a little bit. Yeah.
You're the target audience.
11-year-olds.
Yeah, unfortunately, 11-year-olds didn't have a lot of money, so not a lot of people paid to see this movie.
It's true. We didn't.
Mm-hmm. Also, today, happy birthday, Tim Burton.
Okay.
59 years old today.
He's 59?
59 years old today.
I feel like he's older than that.
Yeah, he looks older than that because he's got the Edward Scissorhands hair and he's got the
silver streak.
The silver streak, which automatically makes everyone look like they're 60.
Or just like some kind of demented, I just think of Tim Burton every time.
Exactly.
That's literally what I just picture.
Yep. So Tim Burton's 59. Currently, he is filming the live-action adaptation of Dumbo.
Which, again... did we talk about that last time a little bit?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember, but I remember having this conversation with someone, and I'm like, I really don't care for Dumbo, but it's cool. I'm glad that Jungle Book was done well and Beauty and the Beast is done well, and so
Pete's Dragon.
I need to see that. Yeah. I've heard it's great.
It's good. I bought it. Gotta watch it. You can borrow it if you want.
Well, I have it in my undisclosed location at work, and I can probably pay like $2 for it.
Well, then fuck you,
Miss Daisy. Fuck you, Miss Daisy.
But those are the birthdays today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, guys! You're fucking old.
Fuck you. I mean, I love you though.
Yeah, please don't die, Sean Connery.
Yeah, don't die, please. All right, you want to move on to? We have some questions.
Oh, reader questions, listener questions.
Reader/listeners / viewers.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Are you doing a? Why do I know that voice?
It's a radio voice.
Oh yeah, inquiring minds need to know something. Speaking of that, I watched Grosse Point Blank this week, but we're gonna keep moving on from there. It's a great movie though. All right, what is your favorite Ridley Scott film, and which film of his do you think is the most underrated?
You got one off the top of your head? Because there's a lot of movies that I attached to him that he didn't direct.
I would say Alien. The first Alien movie is to me, I think his most iconic role he's ever done. Like that people know him from, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously you got Gladiator and Blade Runner, which is a lot of things that a lot of people love. Yeah. But the first one he did was Alien.
Yep.
And this is what I think brought him into what he is now known today as. I mean, obviously, I think he's fallen a little off the wagon wheel with the Alien movies and the franchise itself, but to me, that is a fantastic horror sci-fi movie that I think is his best work.
I'm always on the fence on my pick on this because I hold these two in kind of the same tier, which a lot of people argue this with me is Kingdom of Heaven and Gladiator. Like I always start, like a lot of people always take Gladiator
I'm one of those
hand over fist, but with most directorial movies, there's always an additional cut that people don't see.
Yeah,
Kingdom of Heaven is one of these that has a director's cut,
and I've seen it. It's great.
Yeah, it's much better than the theatrical release, and I think that, like I said, it goes neck and neck with me. The only thing that might push it over the edge is I think Gladiator has a far superior soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
So I would probably pick Gladiator as my favorite Ridley Scott movie.
But what's his worst?
What's his worst?
Just briefly. We don't have to talk about it.
I mean,
I haven't seen him much. I guess Exodus, Gods and Kings.
I liked it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's worse because it's a cult classic, but I mean, it's one of my least favorite ones, maybe because I'm not a middle-aged housewife, is Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise? Well, I have never seen that. However, I just know the iconic ending.
Yeah, well, you know the iconic ending, and you know Brad Pitt was in it, one of his earliest roles.
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, now you do.
Well, now I do, and knowing is half the battle.
Yep.
Go Joe.
G.I. Joe. Ridley Scott, also director of G.I. Jane, by the way.
All right, well, I'm not going to answer that one. Well, it'd be fun for our audience, though. Why didn't Deep Throat win an Academy Award? Just kidding, haha. Which Anchorman is best? Trick question, both suck. That's why she was saying that. And I'm
who's that?
One of my friends, Casey, who's wrong. The Anchorman 2 is...
We'll give you a shout-out right now. Fuck you, Casey. They're both great.
They're both great. Anchorman 1's obviously superior. Mm-hmm. We're moving on from there.
Yeah.
Casey, thanks a lot.
No
Mr. Smith's not amused. Top 3 film franchises that should never be remade or rebooted, in your opinion. And I have 2 that popped up in my head.
Okay, number 1, Back to the Future.
I agree. That was one of mine.
Okay. What's yours?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings?
Never touch it again.
I don't think you can top it.
Never touch it again.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't.
You don't need it. There's no way, because the music is so good, the score, or the cast is so good, just... all the elements.
Well, there's nothing that can be improved upon at this point because they already CGI'd the bejesus out of the prequel trilogy.
Sure.
And that was the only difference between the original Lord of the Rings trilogy and the prequel trilogy is just an excess of CGI.
Oh, yeah.
So we've seen both, practical effects and CGI effects. Yeah. So there's no need to go back and try to re-CGI it or anything.
If anything, make the Oliphant a practical effect with Legolas, and that's the only thing I can literally think of that was like jarring to see.
What the fuck is this? Yeah.
Exactly. And other than that, no, never touch this movie ever again. Mm-hmm. One movie I was thinking of, not franchise, but 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't want to see that made again.
Well, they did make the sequel.
I know, but I'm not thinking of it. I'm not thinking about the sequel. I'm thinking about I never want to reboot it. Yeah. Because I think it has it's a time capsule.
Absolutely.
It's time and space, obviously, LOL. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely an iconic movie for its time period and like what it set up.
Absolutely, and shout out to Alamo Drafthouse in Springfield for decorating their place like Space Odyssey because it's fucking amazing.
Yes, thank you, HAL 9000 and the guys at Alamo Drafthouse.
Seriously, as soon as you walk in the door and you see HAL 9000, you know you're in for some quality movie visualizations.
All right, moving right along. Why do all the actors whisper their lines in M. Night Shyamalan movies?
Because he's making them up as he goes. He's literally writing them off screen and holding up cue cards.
I wonder
to
if
the
he's
actors.
actually doing that. He's like, okay, hey, here we go.
Yeah. That's why there's always a twist ending. It's because he hasn't fucking written it yet by the time it started.
Interesting theory that Mr. Smith has proposed.
I know that sounds very harsh, but M. Night Shyamalan, when he first came out, I really fucking loved his work. Like, he had 3 great movies in a row. They were all original.
What's the other one?
People didn't like it. I liked fucking the Village.
Oh, The Village. Yeah, I thought
and
The
then
Village.
Signs.
What? Okay, what wasn't Signs first, or was it The Village first?
I want to say The Village was first.
Okay, I liked it up until the end.
Yeah, people didn't like the twist ending. I thought it was actually pretty cool.
I mean, it's a cool concept,
yeah,
sure.
I didn't see it coming at all.
But I want to say that the execution of it though
could have been done better.
Could have been done better.
Yeah, but after that, he took a massive nosedive. I mean, literally massive fall from grace.
I'm not even touching that last
Avatar movie.
I'm never going to watch that movie. I love the show damn much. Never going to touch it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, thank you for doing Split. I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, he's redeeming himself a little bit, and supposedly he's making
Glass.
Unbreakable 2. You know, the kind of sequel, quasi continuation of that,
we'll see how that
world
goes.
He's built, so to speak.
The superhero / supernatural world
that he built. 10 years after everyone else started building their own.
He's like, that's the twist. That's the real twist, everyone.
Yeah.
He's the one who's actually created the cinematic universe. He's the one before everyone else. All right. When will they do a movie adaptation of Go Get a Watchman? Who will play racist Atticus Finch? And the follow-up from Ethan, our mutual friend, Will we get an enlightening sepia-toned flashback showing us how he got so darn racist?
Well, given the state of the leadership of this country, I think it is closer to fruition than ever before.
And if we can just get the Coen brothers to do this, because they did it really well in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The sepia tone, Ethan, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, they've nailed it.
They've nailed it, and so just do that. And somehow, let's get back to Kill a Mockingbird, kind of sense where we understand Atticus Finch a little bit.
Yeah.
Most underrated movies of all time.
Oh, you could fucking go for days.
For days. What's one that you can think of?
It depends on what you're considering as. Are we talking financial success? Are we talking?
I'm thinking he said overrated.
Most.
Which we already kind of went last week, but the first time we ever did it. So let's do underrated.
Okay. So most underrated, and to me, I'm gonna judge mine based off financial success because I'm gonna say these titles and people are those aren't underrated. People fucking love those movies, which is correct, but they didn't show up at the fucking box office when it counts. Shawshank Redemption.
Yep, I know. Everyone watches it on TV now.
Yeah, Big Lebowski.
Yep.
Fight Club.
Yep.
These movies
you just ruined it, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the problem with that is people didn't, come out and give these movies the attention they deserved financially. They didn't, flop by any means, but they weren't financial successes.
Yeah.
As much as these movies have had a cultural impact on our society, they should have made more money.
That's for damn sure, and those are all fantastic films.
What about you?
Two that I've literally just come up with on the top of my head is one, which I've just recently seen, which is shame on me because it's a fantastic movie. Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Ford.
Very long title, but
I know,
really good movie.
I talked about it a little bit, I think, a couple podcasts ago, but he was the same. Why can't I think? Cinematographer as There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men, the same damn year, but. Fuck, that movie's great, but no one really showed up for it.
No, and I remember I was one of the few people that did show up and see that in theaters, and what I remember the most about it was marketed really weird. Obviously they tentpole starred in all the trailers and their marketing, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And the way it was marketed is that this was going to be like this
Epic biopic.
Epic biopic, like positive spin.
Okay.
You know, making Jesse James like almost
a hero.
The villain that you like, that you love, you know,
yeah.
the anti-hero that you root for type of thing. And instead, it's not. It's a
not.
gritty, honest portrayal of a shitty character that ended up being a cult hero for whatever reason.
And I mean, that's what I love about it. Obviously, I can tell from watching the movie that it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a great movie. Another one is Cloud Atlas.
Yep.
Which I fucking loved.
Yeah, a very, very risky attempt at a very convoluted story, again by the Wachowskis.
And that's a fantastic book, I might add. I watched the movie, and then about 3 years later, after the fact, I read the book, and I mean, the book is better than the movie, and like in most cases. But holy shit, I love that movie.
Great thing about that movie is the actors that were cast in all those roles, actors and actresses, they did such a good job portraying multiple characters, so to speak.
Yeah, that's kind of, I liked it, but it's also a little gripe because some of the moments in the movie kind of took me out of it because some of them were like, oh, this is a cool concept that they're playing all different characters and they're all connected somehow. Obviously, that's the message of the film, but. You know, some of it came off a little cheesy. Yeah.
The thing I had a gripe about it is very similar in that vein was that I would get engrossed into one particular thread line of the story and then it immediately go somewhere else with it. And I was like, I was just investing in this and then I won't get to see this, you know, tied up for another 25 minutes.
Sure. Something I liked about it, though, was, I mean, I kind of the opposite of what you were just saying. I kind of liked the almost like reading a book chapter, kind of like you have to pay attention to the movie. Yeah, like that was something that because
if you went and got popcorn and took a piss in the middle of it, you were fucking lost.
Yeah, you were fucked, and it's a long movie. It's almost 3 hours. Yeah, you were screwed if you don't pay attention to the movie at all, and that's something that I respect because I love movies so damn much, and I like paying attention. But most people, with their really low attention spans this day and age, I mean, heck. I don't even know how many people who are still listening to the podcast because it's 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm like that's insane to me because I mean I love long form things, so I don't get it.
Bitches man.
Let's do a couple more and then we'll head out.
Okay.
Biggest personal letdown movie. One you were super excited and just didn't turn out good. I have one in my head.
Okay, go.
The Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, just too much CGI.
That's immediately, yeah. Why do they do that?
It just, mainly because, like, we would have seen the Hobbit trilogy first, and then the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I wouldn't have been as let down.
Sure.
But the original, practical effect trilogy, far superior, less CGI. It just, it's better storytelling, better visualization, because it's all actual...
Yeah, actual practical effects mixed with... It's like and this is going to be a controversial statement. It's the mostly capitalist and a little bit socialist that we have kicked in there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, fuck, they basically split one book into 3 movies.
I know, right?
And they just started making up shit.
They made up characters.
Yeah, just to kind of stretch it out and fill some time.
Yeah, don't do the 80% CGI, 20% practical effects, where you do the opposite there.
Or let's put some characters that were nowhere near these current or these going-ons in the books.
Yeah.
Let's just drop them in the middle there, just because, hey, you saw them in the earlier movies.
Yeah, Legolas.
Legolas.
Cough, chubby cheeks. And they even CGI'd him a little bit.
Yeah.
One more thing from Ethan. How much leeway do we give filmmakers in having their characters make irrational decisions for the sake of making a plot work? Alien is something I just immediately think of.
Unfortunately, you almost have to turn off the critical thinking part of your brain when you're watching these movies. It's one of the biggest gripes I have and why I steer away from horror and as a genre mostly, because it's very poor decision making. It goes against common sense and any rational thought. What a sane person would do or act in any kind of crises. I know as driving a plot line, it's kind of necessary. I mean, sometimes you have a character, that's their role, that's their shoe to fit, so to speak, is they're supposed to play the ignoramus that makes the poor decisions just to advance the story. So if it, overall, at the end of the movie, if it benefits the story and it serves a purpose, I'm all for it. But if it's just bad writing, so to speak.
I mean, most of the time it just, like you said, it just furthers the plot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and honestly, like, the reason we watch these movies and the reason we watch most things is there's drama involved somehow, and there's some kind of problem.
Yeah, some sort of conflict.
And that's what we're attracted to, and so that's why we're watching it. We won't watch everyday normal things. Like, you don't watch people just going to the bank, going to their jobs, working, you know.
That's what reality, quote-unquote, TV is for.
Yes, even though there's drama in that all the time. Obviously simulated drama, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good way to end that question segment. There's actually one more that I wanted to just point out, because I just will never shut up about it. My friend Kip asked about when will they ever make a... hold on. I gotta...
Pause for station identification.
I have to figure this shit out, of course. When are they going to do a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
As soon as they find fucking Waldo and he directs it.
If so, why haven't they done it yet? Because they can't find her.
Yeah, I'm not sure who owns the rights, like what kind of, literary agency. But yes, if you're going to make Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego into a live-action, full-feature-length film, you absolutely need to have fucking Waldo make a cameo at some point.
That would be the next... Hey, people who made Emoji Movie and shit...
Yeah, get on it.
Get on that stuff, because that's something I actually will watch.
Also, if the final act in the movie involves her riding Clifford the Big Red Dog,